Hey guys, thanks for coming back and joining us, or joining us for the first time at I Am Salt Lake Podcast. Today on episode 458, we were joined by Sam and Taylor Aramburu from Don Aaronborough Salsa. Sam and Taylor are a team of two who craft handmade and super yummy salsas and deliver them straight to your door with fresh-made local chips. For real, you guys, we had a box delivered and I ate it in less than 2 days and I'm still craving it again. It's so good. We got to talk to them and learn about how they started making salsa, what inspired them to innovate with a salsa delivery business, and more.
All right, Chrissy, who doesn't want salsa delivered to their door?
Nobody doesn't want salsa. That's what I'm trying to say. This is genius.
Hey, before we get into this awesome conversation, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Chris Hollifield.
And my name's Chrissy Hollifield.
Hey, if this is your first time joining us on the podcast, welcome to the show. You might be asking yourself, what is this podcast all about? What am I about to listen to? Well, this podcast is all about showcasing the awesome people right here in Salt Lake City. We're talking to business owners, we're talking to authors, tattoo artists, restaurant owners, breweries, distilleries, food truck owners, salsa makers, really anyone that might have a fun story to share. We're talking to them on this episode of the podcast.
And my favorite thing about our podcast is all the cool people that we get to talk about. And sometimes they get to join us as sponsors on our podcast, which, like our new sponsors, Hugo Coffee are.
Oh, I love Hugo Coffee.
Love Hugo Coffee. Hugo Coffee are sponsors of our podcast, and we can't get enough of them. They're all about saving dogs, one bag of coffee at a time. 10% of their net profits go to dog rescue organizations to provide shelter, beds, veterinary care, and toys, all so they can be happy and healthy until they get adopted, like we got an adopted puppy, little Karen.
Little Karen.
So, you know, you're helping little puppies stay safe and happy until people like us get to adopt them.
Hugo Coffee is a craft coffee roastery based right out of Park City, Utah. And what's really cool is that their head roaster, John, he goes and selects the highest quality beans with a rich flavor profile for a wide range of roasts from light to dark and even an espresso roast. Their website's really unique. Pay attention here. It is hugo.coffee. Go check it out. Go check out all the different coffee that they have available. We created a very special promo code just for our listeners. If you enter the promo code podcast when you're at checkout, you'll get a special deal just for I Am Salt Lake podcast listeners. What it is it's buy one bag, get the second bag 50% off, and you get free shipping. You heard me right. You buy one bag, get the second bag 50% off and free shipping. This sounds like the perfect holiday gift here.
It does, and I cannot stress enough how wonderful it is to have a cute little puppy dog on your coffee bag while you're making coffee in the morning.
It puts a smile on your face.
It puts a huge smile on your face. So again, their website is hugo.coffee, and I'm currently enjoying their Bonafido dark roast and their rollover breakfast blend. Remember to use the promo code podcast to get yourself our exclusive buy one, get the second bag 50% off with free shipping, just for I Am Salt Lake podcast listeners and your friends.
All right. Hey, let's get into that conversation with Taylor and Sam as we talk about salsa and chips and just being a rad person here in Salt Lake City. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Enjoy the conversation. Who is Don Aaronborough?
Yeah, so that's a question
we get a lot.
Yeah, we get a ton. Don Aaronborough. Well, Don actually, it's a title in Spanish, meaning Mr. Or Senor. It's a kind of a seniority title, but it's mainly for older people. But it just like if you're familiar with like Don Julio chips, like Don Julio.
There was a taco place we went to, I thought.
Yeah, Tacos Don Rafa.
Yeah.
There in the abandoned Sears parking lot. And then Aramburu, just our last name.
See, and I thought maybe Don was like a grandpa or some relative that you were paying like homage to, you know, because
just ourselves.
That works too.
Yeah.
So how long have the two of you been making salsa, and were you making salsa prior to launching all of this stuff, or what's the story there with making salsa and then selling it?
Yeah. Taylor lived in Mexico for a few years. And as soon as he came home, it was just like what he started doing. Like, it was kind of like his party trick. Like, we have people over for tacos and salsa. And he's been doing it for years. And so I kind of caught on. And then this summer we had a garden because, we couldn't leave our house. So we just grew a lot of tomatoes and just needed to use them for something. So we were like, why don't we just make salsa for people and deliver it? And then it just kind of turned into, why don't we just sell this?
No way.
So this is really
so
new
cool.
then. You guys just launched this summer.
Yeah, it's very new.
Yeah. Yeah, our official launch date was the first week of September, really. And so we weren't expecting it all to get very many orders, but I don't know if it was just because of, the times and not very many people leaving their homes.
Food delivery is booming.
Yeah, food delivery. But we've met a lot of cool people, and we've really enjoyed these past couple months. So
now, okay, so let's explain this for the listeners. So you guys make salsa. How many different kinds of salsa do you guys have on your menu?
We have 4 staple items, 3 salsas and 1 guac. And then every month we do a seasonal flavor.
Okay.
So last month we did a pumpkin and a ghost pepper because it was October.
Sure.
And then this month we have a cranberry salsa that's available to order. So you want to talk about the process?
Yeah. Well, the cranberry one, that's perfect for Thanksgiving.
Right.
And that's what I want to get into, how you guys deliver this stuff. Is that kind of what you were going to explain with the process there, Taylor?
Yeah, so we make all the salsas fresh, usually within a day or two of delivery. And so we use a lot of, all of our products are fresh local ingredients that go into our salsa. And then we deliver to Salt Lake County and Utah County. I guess the furthest south we go is South Provo, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It tastes that fresh. I had no idea it is that fresh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, and that's the thing.
That.
We got our hands on some of that salsa, and we were just like, oh my gosh, we got to get him on the podcast. We got to get him on here because this is such a unique idea. And I've seen this pop up. I've seen like you were saying, food delivery. And even the grocery delivery got really popular, over everything with COVID. But salsa, this is great. I was telling Chrissy actually today, I was like, this is perfect for who wouldn't want a random gift of salsa and chips delivered to their door, right? As a thank you gift to somebody, right? Just a random surprise. Cause I'm sure you guys would do that, right? Deliver it to a friend with a special note that said,
it's way better than flowers. What do you want? You want salsa and chips. That's what you want. You can't eat flowers. It's such a neat idea, and it's just so interesting because you wouldn't think to deliver it.
Right.
So you deliver to Salt Lake in Utah County. And do you have certain days of the week that you go to both of those?
Yeah,
areas?
we deliver currently just due to capacity. We do delivery days on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
Okay.
And it's during the evening because we both work full time. So
on top of this.
And we go make the salsa and then we deliver it from 5 to 9 p.m. on those days.
And I was going to ask that actually, if this was like your full-time job now, or if you had a full-time job as well, which you do. So how do you juggle? Do you have kids?
No.
Okay.
That's how.
Okay. I was going to say, if you had kids, I don't know how you would do this, but
strap them on your back and keep going.
We're making salsa. Yeah.
We have a dog but she really enjoys the
She's our
salsa.
child.
So it really it ends up working out.
Yeah.
That's
well,
so
and
cool.
our jobs, right now we're both working from home, which makes it really easy. It's pretty flexible. We do our work while we're making salsa, or hopefully our bosses don't listen to this.
Yeah. A lot of the salsa, production and prep, in the morning. We do a lot of it in the morning, and then kind of see what orders come in throughout the day, and then go and deliver it. Yeah. After 5 or 6 about. Mm-hmm. So.
And I imagine it's just the two of you. You probably don't have any employees, right?
No, it's just the two of us right now. So luckily we have 2 cars, and we split. Usually one of us will go north, one of us goes south, and then just deliver to as many houses as we can.
Yeah.
Where do you see this going? Like, where would you like this to go? Have you thought that far? Have you made like a 5-year plan now, or even a 2-year plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. So Utah is like the cookie delivery businesses have really exploded here in Utah. And we love getting cookies delivered. Cookies are better than flowers, right? Like
that's
like
also true.
Yeah. And so where we see this going is building out locations to where people can drive by, pick up salsa, or we can still deliver it to your home, but hopefully expanding into more parts around the state, and hopefully someday out of state as well.
Very cool. Is it in any stores yet? Have you tried to get it in any grocery stores yet? I know like Harmon's works with local businesses. I could see it doing well there. I don't know if you guys have it there yet.
Yeah, we don't have it in grocery stores. Kind of our business model, our plan is to have it solely for delivery or pickup, so that we're delivering it straight to the consumer. Just so, I mean, we love to meet people who like the salsa. We love to talk to them. We just love interacting with people. And so we really want to keep that just kind of directly to the client.
I like
or the,
that.
Or the person buying the salsa.
And I'm going to hold you to that. You know? What would you say the biggest obstacle of getting this all off the ground was, getting this going?
Really the driving. We love making salsa and like,
Taylor said several times, like, I could do this 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, he loves that part of it. And we both, I mean, Taylor has a marketing degree. I do copywriting. And so we kind of are more familiar with the business side of it. Like, that's pretty comfortable for us. It's just like the time commitment of driving and trying to figure that part out has been
that must be rough because you have to like route things based on that day's sales. And exactly. Yeah, it would be hard to automate.
So how do you guys keep saying, like, not slitting each other's throats? I mean, you're married, right?
You live together, you live together, you
work together. Now you got a business together. What's your secret?
Yeah, the salsa is just that good. So no, it's great. Like I said, it's so fun to like work together and to do salsa together. Like Sam said, we've been making salsa for years now. And it really is just such a fun process. Usually it was a process that we just did on Sundays, have family and friends over, really like kind of more of a community, family, friends thing that we've kind of just tried to expand that community into other people around the state.
All right, we're going to take just a couple of minutes and tell you about one of our awesome sponsors, ARC Insurance. Health insurance open enrollment is going on now and only lasts for a few weeks. So Chrissy and we're going to give 5 great reasons why you should be using a health insurance broker like ARC Insurance. Number 1, you get expert advice. ARC agents can match you with the best plan for your needs. Number 2, no additional cost. Fees to use a broker are paid by the health insurance carriers, not you.
Number 3, you will save time. It can take hours to do this on your own. Let ARC help. And number 4, you will save money, time and money. Oh my gosh, I love saving those. ARC will help you find a plan with the lowest possible cost with the best coverage. And number 5, you can get the best healthcare. Having the best health insurance means you get better access to care. So go find the professionals and let them help you. To make an appointment today, visit arcutah.com. That's ARK Utah.com. Or call 801-901-7800. And thank you, ARC Insurance, for sponsoring this episode of the podcast.
Where did the two of you meet?
We met in middle school. We went to, we've known each other for a really long time. So we met in like 9th grade. We went to Ochre Hills Middle School in Riverton.
Okay.
And then,
we just
stayed
friends,
in touch.
Grew up in the same town.
Yeah.
And so grew up in Utah.
Yeah.
Never moved. Did either of you ever move away?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, growing up for a couple years back east, kind of in the Washington, D.C. area as well. I was born here, though, so I have a lot of family. I mean, all my family's here in Utah, so we moved back kind of around middle school, and that's when Sam and I met. But yeah, the roots run deep here in Utah.
So
Yeah.
you went to Atlanta, but something brought you back to Utah.
Yeah. I was young at the time, and so it was my dad actually who it was. He got a job back out here.
Right on.
Speaking of family, what does your family and friends and all that say about you guys making salsa and slinging it and selling it, you know?
They say, don't forget to bring it over, is what they say.
Right. Yeah. They're really supportive. Our parents have been awesome about this whole thing. My dad thinks it's the next big thing. He's like our biggest fan, which is nice. But I mean, if anyone thinks we're crazy, they haven't told us.
Yeah.
So
Usually it's like, why didn't you bring more salsa?
Yeah.
over? So,
I was going to say, I can't imagine any person would think it's crazy. It just sounds brilliant. It is. What about your chips? Do you guys actually make your chips too?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
Because I devoured them.
they're good. We don't make them. We've partnered with a local company to sell the chips, which is nice.
Really fresh and light and delicious.
Yeah, they're good.
They go perfect with. My favorite was the guacamole.
What?
I have to admit.
The guacamole's good.
Yes,
yeah.
I ate it in like a day. The whole thing. By myself.
What about you two? Do you guys have a favorite?
I don't know. I vacillate. I really like the guac too. But I also really like the green salsa. It's my favorite thing to eat with eggs. Like I eat it almost every morning on my eggs, which is kind of fun. I don't know. Which one
I need to try that.
Yeah.
It's
good.
really good too.
Really good on eggs. Yeah. For me, so our guac is called Mama's guac, and that's after my mom because it's her recipe actually.
We've added a little bit.
Yeah, we've modified it a little bit, but that's why we call it Mama's guac, is because that's really the guacamole that she made while I was growing up, and so I love that stuff. And so it always makes me happy to hear that other people love that too. But so for the salsa, I actually really like the guajillo, the yellow label. That's kind of sweeter. Yeah.
Did you come up with the other recipes then, or do any of those have any ties to family or anything?
No, yeah, just the guac has those family ties. The other ones we've come up with on our own. We've been making the other ones for a long time now, actually. Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
One of the questions I enjoyed, I haven't enjoyed asking this to people this year, food people, is like how COVID has affected you as a business. Cause that's one thing that I want to really focus on is supporting local business. Cause I'm sure it's hard with COVID, right? Like there's a lot more obstacles for you guys to jump over.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're lucky that we don't have like an in-person location. And so I can see how it would be really difficult for people that own restaurants or, they need people to come. That would be really difficult. For us, it's been okay. We really appreciate the support. We know that people are just looking for interesting things to try right now. I think people are bored. They're bored at home. So, I think that has actually kind of helped us in a weird way. I don't want to say COVID has helped us because that's terrible, but
it sounds so bad,
Right. But it's you're taking advantage of a new opportunity that was forced on us because of COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it makes us think twice, certainly, about how we clean and prepare everything to make sure it's safe, to make sure that we're doing our due diligence for the people that are ordering salsa. It's definitely made us think twice, 3 or 4 times about preparing everything clean and with the coronavirus in mind.
And delivering it safely.
And delivering it as well.
Yeah, it's a whole nother thing to think about, I think.
Yeah, anytime dealing with food, it can get kind of tricky.
It can get tricky,
but, we love it. And we keep ordering it and
keep eating it.
Keep eating it.
And I love your guys' delivery. It's so cute. I freaked out when I opened the box. We got a delivery of it, and obviously I'm talking about eating it. And it was just so cute. I was like, don't touch anything until I get pictures. It looks delicious. Yeah. It was just an exciting, fun little treat,
Now, do you guys have one or two pieces of advice to like somebody that might want to open up their own business? Not necessarily in the salsa business, but do you have any advice, business advice in general?
I don't know. Like I said, or like Sam was saying, I've recently graduated from the U in marketing. I love business. I've started all like sorts of crazy side projects that may or may not have worked out in the past. But I would say just to go for it and learn as much as possible. I feel like a lot of people get hung up on this idea of, that's crazy. And I was actually telling Sam this yesterday. If you told me at the beginning of the year that we were going to be driving salsa around to people and delivering it to their doors, I would have thought that was crazy as well. And so I think the main business advice I would give is like, you can make it happen no matter what. And if it quote unquote fails, then there are a lot of learning opportunities that you can use for the next go around.
Now, you mentioned you had like other projects, side projects that you were doing in the past. Like what was some of the stuff you were doing, like entrepreneur type stuff or what? You got to share some of this with us.
Yeah. So towards the beginning of the year, well, actually, I probably was doing it for about 2 or 3 years prior to this. I had a local band merchandise business here in town. And I worked really closely with a lot of artists here in Salt Lake and around Utah, around the West Coast, really. And when coronavirus hit, the touring industry also was just destroyed from this. Yeah, and it tanked. And so merch sales also tanked, and kind of our online system also kind of tanked. And so it's not necessarily like all thrown away, but like I said, there's a lot of learning opportunities from these past businesses that we've taken and kind of put them towards this new venture.
So Taylor, this salsa company, this business, this endeavor, it was kind of came out of necessity because you lost your job then with the local business or local band, merch thing. Now, what bands were you working with?
So we had a couple bands. We worked with the Backseat Lovers.
Okay.
Here in town.
Rip Momney as well. They moved out to LA, but we printed stuff for them. Sammy Brew.
Sammy. Yeah.
So just a lot of local bands and also bands outside of the state, like Mapache. Some of these bands. I'm a massive music fan, so that was definitely like a labor of love, I guess you call it.
Yeah.
Has it been super tough on you to not be able to go to like live music? Has that been hard?
It has, yeah. It's been a dark couple months in that regard, but luckily, kind of get my fix elsewhere. Sam on the other hand, I think she loves it because usually I'm always trying to get her to go to this show or that show, but.
And now you have like the perfect excuse.
Yeah.
There's a band in town. I think they're based in Park City called Moki. They're a Grateful Dead cover band, and Taylor's worked with them a lot in the past.
Ooh, that sounds awesome, good.
But I just don't have the stamina for like 5 hours of jam bands. And one night it was New Year's Eve, and we were out till like 3 a.m. at this Moki show selling merch. And they left the stage, and I was like, okay, we can go home. And then they had like an hour encore.
It was the best.
It was terrible.
I loved it so much. Sam was very tired.
I was done.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. I'd be done too and be like, I want to go to bed.
All right, we're going to take just a couple minutes of your time and tell you about one of our awesome sponsors. I love talking about this sponsor, UtahMarijuana.org. They are your number one spot for all things medical marijuana, medical cannabis, CBD, and THC. A big shout out to Tim from episode 420. UtahMarijuana.org's team of medical cannabis experts makes getting your medical card super easy, from your first office visit to navigating the state card application and beyond.
And with over 20 compassionate and highly skilled qualified medical providers ready to help you find relief, you won't have to search for a doctor willing to recommend cannabis treatment. The patient experience team at utahmarijuana.org is dedicated to helping you get all the way through the process so you can get your medicine legally. And right now they're offering an exclusive discount to I Am Salt Lake listeners. Use the code GREEN25 for $25 off your first visit.
Hey, take advantage of that. $25 off.
Yeah, man.
Hey, and if you're in the West Valley City area, check this out. They just opened up a brand new office, which is located at 3615 West, 1987 South, Building 8, right in West Valley. So depending on where you live in the valley, they got a location for you. UtahMarijuana.org. Isn't it time that you took control of your own health? So what do you guys do, like, when you feel unmotivated, like when you don't feel motivated to do what you need to do, like, especially being your own boss? You got to keep going even if you don't want to, and you're like, no, I want to sit on the couch and watch TV
or if
something.
you like accidentally have a little cut and you don't want to have to squeeze lemons to make salsa.
Yeah. What do you guys do to remotivate yourselves?
I mean, I think it's really helpful that there's two of us because we tend to go up and down. Like I'm either really motivated or not, and Taylor is not, but it's not like we're like both unmotivated at the same time. So that's been really helpful for us, I think, just to encourage each other to get the work done. And I'll say this about Taylor. He is like an Energizer bunny. Like the other night we were at my parents' house and we had nothing to do. Like we were done with salsa orders. We'd already done everything. And he was like just dying. Like he was like, I gotta go. I gotta work on this and this and this. And I'm like, it is like 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. Like we can take a break. And so it's been kind of fun to watch how hard he works. It makes me want to work harder for sure at everything that we do. So
is this kind of the first time that you guys have done a business together?
I think like I've been much more involved in this than I was in the previous business. And it was called Shaggy Badger. So I helped with that stuff, but that was all Taylor. So yeah, I'm kind of stepping up a little bit more with this one, which has been fun.
That's awesome.
So what do the two of you do when you're not making salsa? Like what are some other hobbies and interests as we get to know who Taylor and Sam is a little bit more here?
Play soccer?
Yeah, we played in a soccer league, like a co-ed soccer league together for about a year before this coronavirus pandemic hit. But we made it a goal this year to go on 25 hikes around the state because we love to hike and we thought we could knock a bunch out. And so we've been hiking a lot recently, just a good way to get out of the house as well.
All right. Now that you said that, what are your top 5 hikes that you did? If you went on 25 hikes, because we have listeners, they're reaching out and they want to know where to go hiking, man. So now you got to tell them.
We love Mill Creek Canyon just because we can bring our dog. We have a lab and she loves to come with us. So there's Dog Lake up Mill Creek Canyon.
It's always a favorite.
Rattlesnake Gulch. Kings Peak is a hard one, but if you have 3 days, that's an awesome hike.
Yeah, probably a least favorite. Although once you get to the top, it might be a favorite. But Lake Blanche always seems to be. We do that one almost every year, and my calves are always just killing me. And then we get to the top, and it's beautiful. So it's kind of a love-hate one. But and Hughes Canyon this year. Oh yeah,
we found a Hughes Canyon hike, which we'd never heard of, but it's pretty short, pretty easy, and it was like beautiful.
Now, do you do like snowshoeing at all? Do you get out there in the winter?
Yeah, a little bit. Not as much.
Yeah, normally we'll just go down the pipeline trail up Mill Creek just because we live kind of at the mouth of the canyon here.
Yeah. We've tried skiing, but we quickly realized that Taylor's not very good at it.
Skiing hurts a lot more than it is fun for me. I'm
with you, Taylor. Like, at this point in our life, if we haven't done it, why start?
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I'm too old to it.
I'm way too old to try it. I have never tried skiing.
I know. I feel like it's a shot at like my Utah-ness, I guess. I don't know.
Heritage.
Yeah, because I was born here and I live here, so I have to ski here. But just too many tumbles down the mountain, it kind of gets to you.
Oh, dude. Yeah, not worth it.
That's awesome.
It's great when you're like 12.
Right.
Yeah.
What about this is another one we ask most people that come through here is most memorable concert or sporting event that you've been to. I'm just curious if you have a memorable concert or sporting event?
In Utah or outside of Utah?
Just in general, in
your
life, in your lifetime, as we're getting to know the two of you a little bit more.
Well, we're big Liverpool FC fans. The EPL, if anyone, it's a soccer team over in England.
Okay.
And we actually went to Liverpool to see a game, which was really, really fun. It was in a terrible city, though. It wasn't actually in Liverpool. But it was cool to watch the team up close and actually see them play.
Yeah, that was definitely memorable for a sporting event. We're huge Liverpool fans. For concerts, though, I don't know. We've been to a bunch like out of state, and I think one that comes to mind is we go to Red Rocks with my family a lot in Colorado. And I'm a really big My Morning Jacket fan, and they played a 2-night stand last year and the year before that, I guess. Actually, it wasn't the year before that, but they've played a 2-night stand at Red Rocks, and that's amazing for me. I love that so much. I love that venue.
Yeah. And we went up to Deer Valley up in Park City, and we saw Lucas Nelson perform up there. And that was actually a concert that I enjoyed. So that was really fun.
I want to back up just a little bit. So the two of you flew to England just for a soccer game?
Well, I mean, there were other things on the agenda.
Did you get a tour, like do some tour stuff?
Yeah.
Visit some place? That's cool.
Yeah, we toured Anfield there, and then it was during the off season. And so we went up to Blackburn actually and saw an away game,
like a preseason
game. Away game up there. But it was really cool to see all the players, and we actually had tickets to go this summer again, or this fall, I guess, to go see Liverpool, and had to cancel that as well. So
oh man.
That's cool, though. That's cool. It doesn't make
really
me feel
neat.
so bad like when I've gone to California for a concert or something like that, you know? Like, I'm always like, oh, man, that seems like a long, to drive, 10 hours to go to a concert. But, I mean, shoot, you guys flew to England, so I'm just going to tell people that now. I mean, I could be going to England for this.
Hey, I say it is like A+ commitment,
There's a few standard Salt Lake City related questions that we ask on here as well. We have family and friends that visit us from time to time. I'm sure if with the two of you, especially since you kind of grew up here or been in the area a long time, what's the tour like? Where do you take people and show them? I mean, is there an area of town, a building, a hike, mountains? I don't know. You tell me. Where do you take people?
I think a hike is definitely.
Yeah.
That's a must, just because the mountains and the scenery we have around Utah is amazing, and it's so beautiful, and it's so worth taking advantage of. So I would definitely say a hike. But
yeah, I'm trying to think of like
restaurant wise.
Yeah, favorite local eating spots too.
Yeah.
We're big. Okay, this is probably not like a tourist thing. I don't know. Maybe you'd say different. Mr. Charlie's Chicken Fingers on 47th South.
Tell me more.
About that before?
No, tell me more.
They're amazing.
Mr. Charlie's Chicken Fingers.
Yes. It's a mouthful.
Wow. Okay. All right.
They were good friends. Taylor is also a big Grateful Dead fan, and we went in there and realized that the owner is a Grateful Dead fan, so they became friends. So now we're buddies with Mr. Charlie's Chicken Fingers. But they are amazing, and I take everyone there.
What is it? I imagine they have chicken fingers, but what?
Hopefully.
It's like Southern fried chicken fingers. So,
oh wow,
the owners are from Alabama, and it's just really good. But yeah, places like that.
Yeah,
like Red Iguana obviously is a classic. We love
you can tell
Charlie Chow's.
We just eat.
Yeah,
that's what we
eat
do
a lot.
for fun.
We got all sorts of recommendations in the food department.
Yeah.
Where is that chicken fingers? You said 4700 South and
on like 47th South, just west of I-15. It's just in this little strip mall.
Just right off the freeway.
Oh, I know where that is.
I know where it is.
Is there like there's an like a Chinese restaurant in there too? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right next door.
Yeah, we used to live not too far from there, so we drive by that all the time. Very cool. Very
that
cool.
Is cool.
If you could change one or two things about Salt Lake City, let's just say you could change one or two things. Is there anything you would change? I mean, it could be big things, little things.
Oh man.
Something you don't like about Salt Lake?
I mean,
I feel like a lot of times Salt Lake doesn't get the respect it deserves in terms of going back to the music scene. Sometimes it does feel like we're just kind of a pit stop in between Denver and LA, or Denver and Vegas. And I mean, again, I might be biased because we've lived a lot of our life here, but Salt Lake has a ton to offer. Yeah. So I think I would change maybe some of the perceptions around Salt Lake. Yeah.
They're getting better though.
Agree with that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I definitely think they're getting better, and that makes me happy to see, but
yeah. Like, you guys aren't from Utah, right?
No, I was
not originally
born and raised in California. I mean, I've lived in Utah since I was like 15, and I'm 43 now. So I've lived here for a while. I moved out east for a while though too. So I've lived a few places.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And I grew up in Wisconsin.
I was going to
so,
say Chrissy's Wisconsin.
Basically Canada.
Basically Canada.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm so glad that we connected and that we got you some of your salsa and we got you on the podcast. I mean, let's as we kind of wrap this up a little bit, let's mention the salsas again and where people can go get them and how they can get them and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so you can find us on Instagram at Don Aaronborough, and then our website is just donaaronborough.com. And that's kind of where, you can order on our website. That's where the bulk of our orders come from. I think we kind of talked about this earlier, but we have 4 salsas that are always available, our staple menu items, and then, seasonal flavors that come through, and we have different merch things that you can buy. If you become a Don Aaronborough fan, you can go on our website and buy our merch.
The 4 classic flavors that we have, like our 4 staples, like Sam was saying, we have one, El Clasico, which is kind of just a red salsa. It's a chipotle pepper mixed with just tomatoes and other spices. That is kind of a medium heat. We have our Tomatillo Verde, which
that's the green one, right?
Yeah, the green one that
is so good.
On eggs. Yeah, and that's with tomatillos and serrano peppers. It has some avocado and honey in there, and a couple different spices as well.
Then we have the guajillo, which is basically just tomatoes and guajillo peppers. Mm-hmm. And you can only buy those at Harmon's. Side note, I've driven to several different grocery stores and tried to find them, and Harmon's was the only place. So shout out to Harmon's. And then we have the Mama's Guac, which is just the guacamole. And we are big fans of guacamole without tomatoes. So that's our big thing.
That is a hill that we are willing to die on.
And then you have a special flavor for November, which is cranberry, you were saying.
Yes, I named this one. I'm really proud of the name. It's called Extravaganza. And
oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love it.
Thank you. Taylor wasn't so sure, but we went for it.
I now love it.
It's awesome.
It's rubbed off on me.
And that one is like cranberries and ginger and serrano peppers. It's so different than you would think it tastes. It's really good. So.
Yeah, a lot of people have said, like, I don't like cranberries, but like I really like this, and that's like really high praise as well. Trying to convert those people over to the cranberry crowd.
Yeah.
Now, do you care to share what your flavor is going to be for December, or is that top secret until December?
We can share.
Usually it's secret.
But if you listen to this podcast, you can know.
Yeah. I mean, maybe our I Am Salt Lake listeners can get like a little sneak peek.
Exclusive.
So in case, because I mean, this is going to be up really forever. So they might listen to it in December and January and stuff.
True.
Yeah. We're
going to do a queso.
Yeah. We're going to roll out a queso here
in December.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Might have to try some of that.
We definitely need to try some of that.
Before we completely wrap up here, was there anything that you guys were hoping we would talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. We kind of wanted to offer for people listening to the podcast a discount on their order if they do come to our website, that people can just put in podcast in the checkout, and it will give them 15% discount there, just as a thank you.
All right, you guys heard it right here. So let's go to the website, order some salsa, try it out, get it delivered, support a local business, and then just
gift a salsa too, you know?
A gift of salsa, and then let's overwhelm them with orders, right?
Yeah, one thing
We're set.
Yeah, one thing I will say too with the gift of salsa is we're having a lot of orders come in for like neighbor gifts or like not company parties, because this year obviously, but
Like gift baskets.
Oh, right. From like company to employee.
Yeah.
Yep, or clients or things like that. So
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Businesses, think about it.
You heard it here first.
Chrissy has a final question that she asks everybody that comes through here as well. I'm going to let her ask the question. Thank you again to the both of you for coming and doing the podcast with us, or for doing the podcast with us. We'll have to catch up down the road, see how the salsa's going.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the future of the salsa delivery business. Okay, before we let you guys go, can you leave our listeners with a motto or a piece of life advice?
My favorite piece of life advice has always been just be where your feet are. Just be present. Enjoy what you're doing. You know, that's always been helpful for me.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
one quote that comes to mind that I read recently was that effort counts twice, kind of in that same vein of the only business advice I would give would be to just go out and do it. But the effort really does count twice. That doesn't matter if you think you can't or you're not talented enough, that if you put in the effort, I really believe you can get there.
Hey, thanks again to Taylor and Sam Aramburu for joining us on this episode of the podcast. If you want to follow Don Aaronborough, you can find the links and resources on our website. It's at iamsaltlake.com. And to get to these episode show notes, you can do iamsaltlake.com/458.
Go order some salsa and let them know that you heard about them on I Am Salt Lake podcast,
Yes,
right?
I am so ordering salsa as gifts for people.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Brilliant.
Uh-huh.
Hey, we're doing weekly gratitude now, especially with November, especially it is, I don't know, about a week and a half from Thanksgiving when we should be grateful. I know it's hard this year to express gratitude.
But I think it's extra important because it's hard this year.
So every week, Chrissy and I are expressing gratitude. And I'm going to go first. I want to say that I am grateful for all of our awesome listeners. I'm thankful for the people that listen to this podcast and that communicate with us and that, have left reviews and that are active in our community. And they're just really awesome listeners.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a little jealous that you said that you were, but can I jump on your back? I'm also I'm really grateful for you guys. Thanks for being awesome. But that's not what I'm saying today, but I agree with you. I am grateful today for Monique from Market Source Real Estate, who helped us find our awesome house that we ended up getting in right before 2020, which to me, that's constantly a huge blessing because we were in an apartment downtown.
Yeah.
Before last year, over a year ago, but before 2020, right? And Monique helped us figure out how to get into a house so we could have all the kids have each a room of their own. And like it's an okay place to quarantine.
I could not imagine having to deal with this pandemic, this 2020 year inside that small apartment downtown.
Can you imagine?
Monique helped us find that apartment too, though.
I know.
Monique is a rad friend.
Housed us for years. She's amazing. So thanks, Monique, for being just a badass. Don't forget, you guys, you can visit our website anytime at iamsaltlake.com. You can listen to our entire back catalog of episodes. And if you have a friend you think would enjoy an episode, go share it with them.
Yeah, share it on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Don't let us be your dirty little secret.
If each one just shares it with one friend, we can have this podcast be
Now,
huge,
if you just share it to your downline and then your friends will share it to their downlines, we'll be doing great.
We just turned it into a pyramid scheme, Chrissy. We just turned it into a pyramid scheme.
Oh, that hasn't been the thing the whole time? Wow, hey, I've been way off.
You guys have a great week. Get out and enjoy the city. Support local. And we're going to see you next week on the next episode of I Am Salt Lake Podcast.
And good night, Grammy.